Hey everybody, Hernke here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm joined by my friend, actress Tiffany Roney.
Hey!
She just moved out here to LA and she's going to tell us a little bit about her experience and what got her into acting. So Tiffany, what brought you into this business of Hollywood?
Well, I'd come out to visit LA many times on different trips before I finally moved out here. But when I actually felt, honestly, like God wanted me to come out here, and I'd had some experience back in Kansas with some acting and music and stuff like that, but I wasn't for sure if I was going to do anything with that, because I thought, well, there's people that are like way better than me that are all doing it, like, you know, maybe I'll just leave it to them or something. But then I was living with filmmakers. They run a company called Triumph, and just being around them and hearing all their stories, I thought, well, maybe while I'm here, while I figure out what I'm doing, maybe I'll be a PA or something. And then one of them was like, I really feel like with your giftings and, you know, the way that you like to talk with people and stuff, like you'd really be good as an extra. So that was kind of where any of the acting started out here. Back in Kansas, I was lead in a small movie, and even that I didn't actually audition for. I was working for a newspaper, and the filmmaker came in and wanted me to write an article about the movie. And then by the end of the conversation, he was like, you know what, we don't have the lead cast. You would be perfect for the lead. Would you be willing to do it? I was like, sure.
There you go.
So
yeah, open up a door for you. That's good.
Just been a lot of open doors, and it's just been really fun.
That's awesome. So when you prepared for your move, is there anything, like, did you do a lot of research before you moved out here of places to live? And did you talk to people out here, like, hey, what do you suggest I do to make the move out here as smooth as possible?
It wasn't really that kind of way. It was more just following a lot of signs that I felt like I was supposed to come here, and I had an option to do free grad school in Kansas with tuition and everything like that, or where everything was laid out, or kind of just come here and felt like sort of jump off a cliff and see if I can fly, or, you know, if the Lord will catch me or something. So more it was just a lot of prayer and a lot of talking with people who prayed with me and stuff, and it got to the point where, so my last trip here was in January of 2018, and during it, God was just speaking to me about the desires of my heart and how, like, I love visiting here and stuff, and that, like, I really could live here, because I thought, well, I don't have a plan, I don't have money, I probably can't, you know, and just realizing, like, there's man's wisdom and there's God's wisdom, and, like, what people say is impossible, God says is possible. And so I got back, and a missionary was living at my house, and she's like, so, when are you moving there? Because she kind of knew, like, things were going that direction and stuff, and I was like, well, at that point, I was like, well, maybe, I know I'm supposed to move to LA, I know I'm supposed to, you know, but maybe just for my own security and fallback, maybe I'll just, like, get a master's first and then come. And but then I was reading, like, in the Bible where a guy is like, well, how about I go bury my father first? And Jesus is like, no, you can follow me now. So I ended up saying no to go to grad school. But there was just so many different things, like, even, like, the day of my decision, my landlord, like, never comes to my apartment, but she came to my apartment, and she knocked on the door, and she was like, hey, I just wanted to tell you, I'm leaving this morning to fly to LA, and, like, it was just, like, all these different things. It was just, like, so it was just kind of, like, following signs. And then as far as living, so actually before I moved to LA, I moved to Bakersfield, and out in the desert for a few months over the summer, and my aunt also really felt like I was supposed to, like, live out here, so lived with my aunt, and then I've been living with the people of Triumph Film Company, and then moving in a couple weeks to Culver City. So it's just been kind of like one open door after another.
That's awesome. That's how it works. When you know you're on the right path, and all these doors are opening for you to keep you going down that road.
Yes.
That's great. Is there any, like, films or any actresses that inspired you to, hey, I might want to try this, or she's my role model, I want to follow after her?
Well, there's a couple characters, at least, that people always kind of compare me with, that I might pursue roles in those directions. And one of them is the princess from Enchanted. Like, I think just because I just get really excited about things, and I love kids, and I don't know, and kind of on the whimsical side, I feel like, a little bit. And then the other one is Zooey Deschanel's character from New Girl. So
those are the
people that I always get compared to. So those are, like, some roles that I kind of want to study into a little bit more. So.
That's cool. Yeah, it is. I have a couple as well, and you just gotta just use them as your inspiration and keep going with it. You'll eventually get those roles, you know.
Thank you.
I've always wanted to play a villain, and then all of a sudden I got my villain role.
Wow.
I always wanted to play a cowboy. I got my cowboy role. So it's like watching those people that inspired you to become an actor in this business.
Yeah.
And then you get to play the role that inspired you to get into it. It's really a surreal thing. It's awesome. And I know that you're speaking of faith in God, and you're a Christian. I'm a Christian as well.
Awesome.
I know it can be tough out here to be a Christian. You do have to surround yourself with a lot of good people. And you're going to a church right now that's surrounded with a lot of people in the entertainment industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's called Radiance International, also known as Hollywood House of Prayer. And it's mostly industry people. And they very much encourage us to like just be a light in the entertainment industry. And they basically kind of give us a safe place to kind of like launch from and just keep encouraging us. And the pastors pray for like all of us, and we also pray for other people in the entertainment industry and just things as a whole, for things to move in the direction that God would want. And we were glad to see, like, feeling like after like the Me Too movement and things like that, that people who like are not of the right heart are kind of getting like shifted out and believing for those who are in it for God and for others to be raised up and stuff. So I love Radiance. It feels like a family. It's not a very big church actually, but it's very powerful. And we just started a live stream, I think possibly today. So you can look it up, Radiance International on YouTube. Have
you heard of Bel Air Presbyterian?
I have.
Yeah, I went there too.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of entertainment people there.
Yeah.
As well. I sort of left it because the pastor that we loved listening to doesn't teach there anymore, so it kind of fell down after that. Oh man, Mark Brewer's gone.
Aww.
He's a good guy.
Cool.
So being out here since October of last year, right? How many sets have you worked on, and has there any been like funny experiences or a memorable moment or something that you learned from, or could it be even something bad? That you learned from?
Sure. Well, I would say for extra with Central Casting, someone just asked me this the other day. I counted up. I think it's 10. Primarily on Grand Hotel has been the biggest one. I loved being on that show. Love everyone on that show. And then I just was a principal actor on the A Court show Friday. So I guess that counts for 11 out here. And well, I feel like my first day, one thing that was like really memorable was my first day with Central Casting. It was right after Hollywood Arise, a big like sort of like prayer rally and like sort of launching event and stuff that that my church did. And so I went on set there and was just very much like, okay, I'm here on purpose, you know. And when I was getting there, I was running late and feeling kind of bad about that. I called them, but still I was just like, oh, I was supposed to already be here, you know. But then it was like I was actually like right on time in a way, because there was this other girl who was the same amount of late as me, and we were walking in together, and as we got to talking, I felt like God was like showing me I was there for her. And so she ended up sharing how there was a girl who was a really good friend of hers, where the last time she was on set with that girl was this very set in Manhattan Beach Studios, and that girl had actually died like of an aneurysm. And so this girl that I was talking with, was, you know, just sad, thinking like last time I was here I was with her. And I was like, can I pray for you? And so she's like, sure. So that like brought her a lot of like peace, I guess, like when I prayed for her, and she was like crying and stuff. And then it just kind of like snowballed into this neat thing of like then other people just being curious about God and asking for prayer and thanking me and these other people for like praying and stuff. And it was just like, wow, like this is all like happening here, and people are like getting ministered to. And I feel like this is like how it like should be, you know, on the side of just in holding, like it doesn't have to be just sitting around, but we actually get to like have like these meaningful conversations that are like spiritually valuable for people. So that whole day was like really neat. And then just a fun thing that happened that day was there was this big like curved staircase. It was kind of like everything that was really classy, like kind of gold and stuff, is the Grand Hotel place. And I was looking at the staircase, and just like the little girl inside of me, I was like, I wish I could walk up the staircase, because, you know, feel something or something, but I didn't like say it to anybody. And then the director guy who was like in charge of us, he picked me out. He's like, hey, I want you to walk up the stairs in the next scene. And I was like, wow, thank you, Lord. So he gives us the desires of our heart at the same time. So it's been fun.
That's awesome. That's, you know, I've been on this situation where I've worked on a TV show. This was when I first moved out here, and one of the first things is the entire casting crew prayed.
Awesome.
And I was like, I've never seen this happen before on any set that I've worked on since I've been out here, and that really stuck out to me. Unfortunately, I don't remember the name of the show because it was 16 years ago. So long, but it's cool when you see little things like that happening on set, you know, and you get connected with the right people. So,
sorry, I just remember I was 12. Because I forgot I was in a commercial at an awesome like producer. He's such like a Papa Heart for people. Johnny Murillo, I love him, and I was so 12. Yeah, sorry.
No,
that just came to mind. I was like, wait, I did something with Johnny.
So going forward, do you have any other projects that are coming up, or anything you're working on right now?
As far as like casting stuff, there's nothing on the schedule right now, but I have so many other projects as well. I'm working on a children's book. I'm working on a novel. I'm working toward getting some songs recorded that I've written. And they all start with like S right now. It's like songs, stories, shirts. So yeah, I have at forever90skid.com, and then shows. As far as producing content, working on a little children's show, and also for little kids and stuff, and like making creative arts for kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then my little Excellent Extra series, and that's been kind of fun to start being a little bit of a resource for people that like someone messaged me asking me questions because they saw I made a couple videos. So
yeah, I saw it was a video about doing background work, right?
I made a couple now. Yeah. So one of my roommates actually came up with that idea because she knew that like I feel like I'm supposed to do just like as part of like just my life, I'm supposed to do a little bit of vlogging and stuff, and she was saying, you know a lot now about background acting and people are curious about it, like there's not that much out there, like you should really be vlogging about that. So I was like, okay, here we go. So
no, that's good. And there's places that on Facebook that you can post it, you know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's the background artist group, and there's all these different pages. So yeah, post it there and people will watch it and they'll comment and give your feedback.
Cool, yeah, I love that. Thanks.
Do you have any advice for people that are wanting to get started or want to make the big move out here, or anything that you want to tell them?
I think for getting moved out here, like if you feel like called to come, you feel like a desire in your heart and a sense of, I mean for me a lot of times when I'm called to something, there's a sense of like wonder, like wow, can I do that, you know? Just follow that and not fear, because that would be, it got to the point where that was like the only reason for me not to possibly come. Like a pastor had said, what would you do if fear was off the table? And I think that's like such a good question. So if fear is holding you back, don't listen to that. And then try to have in your life if you can, and like identify people who are like destiny helpers, that people who really like care about you and are maybe a little bit farther along than you are in what you want to do, and they'll like advise you, and like listen to those people. Usually they're, in my life, they're people who, well, most of them are people like who know God, and at least they are people who are very loving and stuff like that. So do that, and do kind of what they're guiding you and what you like feel like you're meant to do, and just don't like listen to or pay attention to like criticism, or not that you can't, because sometimes like they might have something true, but like don't let it like squash you or something. Like just like keep going forward. And yeah, I would say it's great out here. I love it. Someone recently had like commented like, oh, you're in such like a sinful, like scary place or something, and people sometimes like will say that, but there's so much light here, and there's so much joy here, and there's so much opportunity here, and I'm really grateful that I came out.
Very well said, Tiffany.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for coming out and joining me today.
Absolutely.
This little interview. Hopefully I get to work with you in the future as well.
I love that. And I would say that he is like a destiny helper type person too. Like he's been so helpful to me. Like I want to like honor you, because I was like praying for how do I get more stand-in work, because the first one came to such like it was just answered a prayer. And then like he messaged me and like friended me on Facebook, and ended up like helping me and sent me like 4 like audio messages like a minute long. Took all that time to like help me. So like this is a good guy to listen to. He really wants to see people succeed, and he really does care, and he really does know a lot. So Hernke.
Oh, thank you so much, Tiffany. I appreciate it. Go support Tiffany's career. The links will be down below for all of her information. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and we will see you all on the next one.